Out in the universe, beyond the walls of time and space, sit an infinite realm of alternate dimensions. For us, we have Peter Parker, the friendly neighborhood web-slinger. For others, they have Gwen Stacy, the ghost spider, Peter Porker, the Spider-Ham. But for Earth 1610, they have the ultimate Spider-Man, Miles Morales. In today's analysis, we will be looking at the character as he was portrayed in the seriously remarkable Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie, to answer the question, how strong is Miles Morales? Despite being a trainee throughout most of the movie, Miles has several moments with which we can analyze to get a reference on his strength levels. For instance, when escaping the Prowler, Miles sticks to the ceiling of this underground subway track. For construction like this, concrete has to be packed heavier than normal, and in this state fractures under pressures of 10 million pascals. Not only that, but he was able to fracture the glass off of a skyscraper during his montage. The most common glass used for construction of buildings like this would be tempered glass, which breaks under pressures of 68,950,000 pascals. And while both of these numbers are quite impressive, any force exerted from Miles wouldn't be too wild, as the area is incredibly small and wouldn't necessarily require an inhuman amount of force. Conversely, Miles begins to rack up a number of strength feats after he joins the Spider Team in the final battle against the Kingpin. In fact, during his one-on-one with Fisk, he grapples him with webbing and proceeds to spin him around. Comparing the length of the webbing to Miles' height of 173 centimeters, we find the webbing to be 20.29 meters long. Now, in order to determine what level of force he had to exert, we need both Fisk's mass and his acceleration. By using the length of the webbing as our rate, we can plug that into the equation for centripetal velocity. Assuming it took a little over 1 second to swing Fisk in one revolution, we find that Miles was swinging him at 121.4 meters per second. Taking that number and using it in the equation for centripetal acceleration, we find the acceleration to be 726.36 meters per second squared. Taking that and multiplying it by Fisk's mass of 204.5 kilograms, we get the total centripetal force to be 148,540 newtons. In the same battle, Miles uses his webbing to pull a taxi at the Kingpin. Common taxis weigh in at about 1,975 kilograms and are about 5 meters long. Accounting for the distance the taxi traveled, the time it took to reach the Kingpin, and assuming the time it took to accelerate to its top speed, we find that Miles must have exerted over 450,240 newtons of force. While his action-packed final battle proves his strength to be beyond impressive, that his greatest strength came through in a single thump to a rock. Assuming this rock is composed of shale, the most common rock found in the Catskills of New York, it would take an immense amount of force to split it the way Miles did. Scaling the size of the fracture to Miles, the affected area would be roughly 3.33 meters squared. Applying the sheer strength of shale, 30 megapascals, and this punch would be carrying a whopping 99,907,500 newtons behind it. But we can't end this video without talking about one heroic webhead. We can further scale Miles' power by comparing him to the Spider-Man of his Earth. In the opening montage of the movie, we see this Peter save the city from villainy and distress in all manners. For instance, he did battle with the gargantuan 25-foot-tall Green Goblin, who would weigh over 45 tons. Additionally, he replicated the train feat from Spider-Man 2, which would require 182,000 newtons, and he even held 2 buses from falling off a bridge. Assuming these buses are single-deck MCI 102 DL3s, this would require Spider-Man to withstand 156,514 newtons pulling on him from each side. Not only that, but he is shown taking punishment from the aforementioned Green Goblin. Based on his size and stature, the Goblin would hit with a colossal 2,316,254 newtons. Despite being an experienced hero, all of these feats are nothing compared to the ultimate strength of Miles Morales. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you want more. And if you want to be updated for every other upload, be sure to hit that subscribe button like you're a teenager who wanted to be hit by a car. Also, just a little sponsor real quick, in the description you will find a link to my new Patreon. There are 4 tiers on there, and with each one there's a little bit of extra fun stuff that you can have as a supporter of me and my team, of me and Alex, and maybe someone else, I don't know, but right now it's just me and Alex. It's just me and Alex. Anyway,